Hello. Well, I guess we have no other option.
In the dark of midnight, I sit stuck upright. With cotton mouth, I can use a sip. As the shadows stare back, a voice calls out to me. Turn a light out in the street. Remind me of your perfume. Smells just like green velvet. Let me feel your touch once more. I wanna see you again. 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 And I know you don't think it's very likely, and I know you might not want me there. Now I hope you see how far I've come. I hope I can go forth and not be scared. It seems everyone has eyes for you. It seems that you never really cared, but I think I've got something that they just don't have. I wanna see you again.
Dude!
And then I said, it's
are
not like the smallest
here
penis ever,
For
but it's pretty
Sim
small.
Station Internet Football, episode whatever, season 3. Reeves, we started recording. Don't talk about Garrett like that.
It's wide
Now-
though.
Wait,
It's wide though.
He got a lot of girth. This is outside of the time where Garrett showed his ass 5 minutes before we started recording. This is the weirdest start to an episode I've ever had, and that was a trip. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
sorry, I didn't know we were recording. I was having a conversation with my friends about my other friend, Garrett Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all it goes sometimes. Welcome to the podcast. It's our last episode of the season. SimStation Internet Football Season 3 is coming to a close. Today I have with me my two co-hosts. We have Reeves. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
Ah, great choice. And we have Banglewood, who is currently at work.
Still
Hey.
working.
It's 8:03 at night on Thursday.
At your service.
All right. So we're going to get into all the teams like we do, talk about the drafts, talk about how everything ended. But first, we've had a pretty intense pick'ems competition all year. It was really close. We were all within like a game of each other for a long time until one person did pull away with the lead and closed the year really strong. The winner of the 2024 or season 3, whatever the fuck, pick'ems is Banglewood.
Yay, Bangy! Woo woo!
Banglewood fucking closed so strong. He finished.
I won like the last 4 or 5 weeks. Or like I was in first place for a while. So I'm like, if I don't win this tonight, there's something up. Like
Yeah.
maybe I went like 0 for 6 the last week, but
So last time we checked, I was 2 down in second place. So I needed to beat you. I needed to get 2 more than you to tie. And you went 5-1 in the final week. So that was not happening.
I just
And
don't
then-
pissy like that.
Yeah, so you actually finished with a total record of 51-27. It's pretty
Damn.
good. It's about 60. I mean, yeah, that's
Pretty
equivalent to like a 9-5, 10-4 fantasy season. I finished second place, 48-30. Reeves finished 1 game behind at 47-31. And Wyatt finished 2 games behind Reeves at 45-33.
So it
It's
was
pretty close.
It was really
Yeah.
close.
But you just had a monster last 3 weeks. You went 5-1. Well, we all went 5-1 and 4-2 in like the 2 previous weeks, and then 5-1 again. Was a pretty crazy close.
Damn.
Oh, and you went 5-1 the week before that. So
I was
Damn.
on a run. Well,
Yeah,
I
he
would
was
just like
fucking-
to thank Steele. And that's it.
dude, you did
Fuck
glaze
you.
steel a lot, and that did help you. I guess
I picked
objectively.
Steele a lot.
Would've
And I
been
picked
bet-
Alec Wyatt a lot, and then he finally started winning. God.
So yeah, that was fun. That was cool. Actually keeping track of the whole season. But what everyone's really here for is our season in review. We're going to go through all 12 teams. We're going to talk about your team. We're going to talk about our terrible power rankings. And, of course, we're going to score those too because everything has to be a competition.
Fantasy,
We're going to talk about the draft.
football,
I'm curious to think if you guys remember your power picks. Did anyone look at their power rankings before this?
No, but I remember mine pretty
I know
well.
I put myself like middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I did not do particularly great.
There were some things I did not remember, including some. I did remember that I put our first place team at 12th. I will openly say that. But other than that,
People be doubting Biz. I think I probably doubted Biz too, but
we will get to her. We're going to
She's got
start
more
at the bottom,
me,
Oh,
so.
get through the
boy.
ones that are no longer relevant. And of course, we're going to start with Justin, who reads his map that most people have in here.
Oh, no.
Justin finished the season 3-11, 12th in points scored, 12th in median score, 8th in points against, which means he had the 5th easiest schedule. Yeah, okay. So he's pretty middle of the packet schedule. The power rankings. The podcast, his cumulative ranking was 12. I had him 10. Wyatt had him 12. Alex had him 12. And
Yep.
Reeves, the optimist, had him at 9. So it's a tough. So Reeves and I took a couple points there. What do you guys think of Justin's team?
I think part of this is hard because we don't necessarily know how people are going to manage their team. And Justin went with a very hands-off approach to managing his team.
Well, you got to think though. First year in the league, this is a cutthroat fantasy league. You know, there's no way he was going to come in year one and have major success.
Unless he, he was
maybe
actually
look into
good.
wild cards. If he plays again next year, which I hope he does,
Worst
well, no,
season
he's
ever.
probably not going to make a lot of moves, and you can pick accordingly.
Maybe. When are people just going to learn not to like trade with Reeves?
People didn't trade with me that much.
Yeah, just Becca. The Garrett trade was
and
Trying
Garrett.
to
no,
kill
that happened.
B-Way's season.
B-Way killed his own season.
yeah, that was on B-Way.
That was on B-Way.
Well, yeah.
But like, I don't know. People
I'm
people
just
made trades
messing with
elsewhere.
you.
People already apparently learned not to make trades with me because no
Trade
one
with
wanted
me.
it. Trades were so hard this year. It was fucking impossible.
So, what was the highlight of Justin's team for you guys after we just shat on it for a nice 2
Mostert.
minutes?
Nico Collins. Mostert? What the fuck?
Really good, Nico Collins.
Nico Collins he was hurt for like a lot of the year, but he was by far his best player.
I think Brock Bowers was by far his best player.
Far.
Number 1 tight end in the entire league. Drafted 81st overall.
Honestly, I forgot about Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is like his,
I was so enamored by Nico Collins, I completely forgot about the tight end position. But I mean, yeah, you're right. I think both Brock Bowers and Nico Collins are really good.
tough
Yeah.
that Isaiah Pacheco came back like right in time for him not to use him because he's out of the playoffs. But
I mean, he had his back. He had Kareem Hunt, so it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, Justin, 2 of his first 3 picks were out. Missed substantial chunks of the season, which was tough. Nico Collins and Pacheco. Anthony Richardson got hurt. Not that was like super.
And was
relevant.
bad.
that didn't affect much.
I think like for a lot of it, Kirk Cousins was just a better quarterback for him, honestly.
Yeah, and then Kirk Cousins fell off, and it was like, oh boy.
Yeah, fell off. I think
he-
you mean just got old halfway through the season.
Yeah. And then, because Justin wasn't managing really well, he probably could have picked up somebody like Bo Nix or someone to try and salvage, but never did. Yeah, it was a tough year. The Michael Pittman pick to me really stood out as kind of terrible.
Yeah, that was also my worst pick, Travis. Really
His wide
bad.
receiver 53 on the season.
Yeah, that was round 4 wide receiver, if I remember correctly, too.
Yeah,
it's
pick
pretty
number
bad.
40 overall. He was the 20th wide receiver taken. But yeah, he finished wide receiver
really
53.
bad.
That's tough.
really bad.
I never picked that guy, but I actually have a different worst pick, and it's Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Because he sniped Raheem Mostert right from in front of me, and I was definitely gonna pick him. And he ended up playing he ended up playing 3 games this year, and he did nothing. So
And
Yeah, there's always that question of is it a worse pick if the guy gets hurt? I think I tend to
Right.
lean against those unless it's someone who's hurt before the season or someone who always gets hurt.
But Raheem
Which is
Mostert
the
was
fact-
So I think he qualifies.
Raheem Mostert
Oh,
was just
yeah.
bad. Like
That
even
too.
when he
I
played,
mean,
he was
he
just
had
bad.
30 touchdowns, bro. He had like
Last
22.
year, last year. What?
How is
We're
that
talking
bad,
about this year.
though?
This year, what? This year he didn't do
But
anything.
you didn't say this year. You just said he's bad.
I said he's been bad. What? He was bad this year. We're not talking about last
Don't
year.
talk
Don't
bad
get,
about most.
don't get, but don't
Dude,
get.
you
We're talking
cannot
about.
talk shit about a Dolphins player.
I'm talking
You
about
just can't.
fantasy football this year. He has not been good. Like, why are you
Okay,
talking
well,
about
you
this?
didn't specify
You just
that
told
earlier.
you just shat on him too because you told us it was his worst pick.
I'm
you
saying
dumb
it's his
fuck.
worst pick because if
'Cause he did
I
bad
would have
this year.
picked him, I would have been way worse off, and he probably would have been
because
way
he's
better off
because he's a bad fantasy player this year.
this year. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I said. What?
but that's
okay.
not what you said earlier. So
Homie.
quit trying to gaslight me, bro.
All right, all right, all
Gaslight,
right,
what are you
all right,
talking about?
ladies.
Either way, he was his second running back, and not even like his third. And having a second running back and not having anyone else, and then not working the waiver wire particularly well, did not bode well for Justin's team.
No, it did not. Justin is a very carefree individual. We're actually sneaking him into my work holiday party tomorrow. But he's like, when is the holiday party? And I was like, or not tomorrow, it's Saturday. And I was like, it's Saturday. And he's like, what's today? It's like, Thursday.
Bro.
He's so in the clouds. I fully respect it. All right. I think we've talked plenty about Justin's team.
Yeah.
We'll go on to
Clickety
number
clack.
11, which was a very divisive pick when we had the power rankings. And that's Trisha.
Trisha ended up
Trisha-
11.
Trisha is 11. She lost the tiebreaker with B-Way.
Bro,
And they both tied at 5 and 9.
how is this team 11?
I know,
How
it's
is this
crazy.
team 11?
Good. So
Ah!
far, we're pretty good on the bottom.
She was 8th in scoring, 4th in median scoring. She her median
What?
her median score was a 5.5 point increase from her average, which is fucking wild. And then 3rd in points against, so she had the 3rd hardest schedule in the league. Power rankings, Power Podcast had her 6th. I had her 9th. Wyatt had her 11th. Reeves had her 2nd. And Banglewood had her 6th.
Oh, joy.
So that score-wise was not great for...
This one, my cheeks are getting clapped.
You did score a nice 9 on here.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
So basically the way it's like, if you guess 12th and they get 12, you get 0 points. It's like golf scoring. If you guess 12th and they get 11th, you get 1 point. Yeah.
Joy, real
So
joy.
the max you can get is 11. And only one
Oh,
person
boy.
got 11th on a pick.
Was it you?
But yes, it was me. Because I put Biz last.
Rip.
So Reese, I mean, you love this team. What were you right about? I guess is the good question.
I was right about Saquon Barkley. I was right about Justin Jefferson. I was pretty right about Kenneth Walker. The quarterback ended up being pretty good. Unfortunately, that's kind of where I stopped being right about, I guess. Because Jalen Waddle didn't pan out, and Tank Dell didn't pan out. And who did she have at tight end again? I don't remember. She had
Njoku was
Njoku.
hurt, and then she
was
had
hurt.
she had Fryermuth also.
Fryer,
Who was pretty
yeah.
good.
But like, yeah. So I guess the couple of wide receiver 2 and flex options that I thought would be better. Excuse me. Yeah, did not do great. Did not do great. Who was their wide receiver 2 at the end of the season? I don't even remember.
She was playing. Oh, I don't remember. I do. She was, or I will say, quarterback. I think she got kind of lucky. She took Baker because she's a Bucks fan,
Yeah.
and he was substantially better than C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Who I think was one of her worst picks of the year. She kind of
forgot
got
about
tricked
C.J.
into that
Stroud.
by Justin, which was kind of funny.
Oh.
Let me
Baited.
see. What was
Justin's a little trickster.
Yeah, well, so he was thinking about taking C.J. Stroud and took Anthony Richardson instead because Trisha had said I may take C.J. Stroud. And he was trying to be nice, and then it turns out they both kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, she started
I mean,
Keenan
thank-
Allen
thank-
as her wide receiver 2, and Jalen Waddle as her 3.
Oh yeah, Keenan Allen. Oh boy.
The crazy
Yeah,
part about
but-
it is you look at this team and like then if you were just to go off like the names of the players on this team,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh my god, that team is fucking stacked.
Yeah, it's a great team. But none of her. She had three wide receivers that just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Flex was always a problem for her.
Yeah.
It is
Waddle
crazy
had
she
like
had-
3 good games. I don't know how Keenan Allen did, but
He had a little
JJ
stretch where he was doing okay, but otherwise terribly.
Kenneth Walker have a good season or what?
He
When
was
he
pretty
played, he missed
decent,
a
but he's been
couple
hurt
games.
a couple times.
Yeah. And Tank Dell was shit, so
Yeah, Tinko
Yeah.
was trash.
It is crazy. She had running back 1, wide receiver 2, and quarterback 4, and went
Yep.
5-9,
And she missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and missed playoffs. That's fucking insane.
And it's not like she scored poorly either. Like, she
Yeah.
proved that you can have good players and still score well, but she just missed. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she scored 8th. Like, it was fine. I think that she got, again, because her median's so high, you could tell she got weighed down by a couple
Yeah.
outliers. But, yeah, I mean,
But, like, she had to start Jaleel McLaughlin for, like 8 weeks of the season.
that's tough.
But also had to, but also Trisha, I think was I think Trisha and Justin were hitting the same sauce because neither of them really cared about making that many moves.
that is true. She had the Bengals defense for a while, and I had to be like, Trisha, they are ass. They're so bad. Please drown them.
Yeah.
She managed her team most. I was trying to like not micromanage her team or anything, so she managed most of it herself. But yeah, I think she did. I don't think she fully understood how the waiver wire worked.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think interesting. I think Blake Corum was like supposed to be a big part of the Rams' offense, and then he did nothing all year.
Well,
and that made her
yeah.
running back depth.
I
just
think
horrible.
he had a lot of hype and it was kind of just
I also think part of it
Just
was
'cause
like he was drafted decently well, and then
came off a natty.
yeah, and then people were thinking that what's his face was going to get hurt. Kyron Williams was going to get
Kyron
hurt
Williams.
because he's so small, and he just
And
hasn't been hurt.
Kyron Williams
so,
is just a beast, so
yeah.
Yeah. So they are running back depth, and then Flex just hurt her and killed her. And Jalen Waddle being bad, where it was like, oh god, I don't have a good wide receiver. Yeah. Her top end was really great, but the rest of stuff.
Yeah.
God, just picking up someone like what Jerry Jeudy when he went on waiver wire or something would have been like so good for her team.
Yeah, it would have been a number of players that could have filled some nice gaps. Ooh, woo.
hey yo.
All right, we'll move on to the team in 10th is B-Way. B-Way also finished at 5-9, but had the tiebreaker over Trisha. 11th in points, 11th in median points, and had the hardest schedule in the league. Those three things are never a good combo for success.
How did he
Power
end up 10th?
Yeah, I mean 5-9. That's about where 10th's been. 5-9 to 6-8.
No, but how was he 11th in scoring and worst in points against, and still made it to 10th?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Let's see. Power rankings. The podcast had him 9th. I had him 5th. White had him
idiot.
3rd.
Yeah,
White had him
yeah.
3rd.
Want to know why? Want to know why the podcast had him 9th? Because your boy put him 11th.
Yeah, well, Reeves, you both had him 11th.
Bango too. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, so you guys had a lot.
I got the bottom 2 teams right.
Yeah.
No, because he's 10th. He's not bottom.
Oh.
Yeah. You had Trisha at 6, and she was 11th. Tough.
Oh. Right? Oh.
Yeah,
Why
BYU's
does it say
team.
he's 11th on the standings on Yahoo?
Because it doesn't account
it doesn't
for
by
power.
points. It doesn't do it by power.
Oh,
by head-to-head.
okay.
Or head, yeah, that.
What are y'all's thoughts about BYU?
I think about what I thought was going to happen is exactly what happened, and then B-Way decided to accelerate that process by very poorly managing his team.
Yeah.
For reference, let me remind you this trade that we were talking about earlier. It was what was it? Kincaid and Jaden Reed, who at the time were like Kincaid was decent, Jaden Reed was Kincaid wasn't hurt, and then Jaden Reed was actually something. For Tyreek, who wasn't doing anything, and Ferguson, who was like meh. And we traded, and it ended up, and I now have ended up back with Kincaid. Ferguson is on like Brett's team or something. B-Ways has Jaden Reed, but he's not doing anything. Tyreek now has actually finally started doing things. And B-Way,
It was a horrible trade. I still never understand B-Way's infatuation with Kincaid.
I don't. And then he dropped. Why did he drop him so early? Like I don't know, man. I don't.
He dropped him like a week later.
He did. He dropped him like 2 weeks later after he got hurt.
Yeah.
But then also, yeah, I don't know. Like even with some of his other picks, like McConkey, who, like he picked him high. He picked him way higher than I expected. It actually turned out to be a pretty good draft pick because he did decent. He's now on my team because guess what? B-Way dropped him and apparently no one else wanted him. So I'm like, okay, I'll just pick up.
He dropped McConkey?
He dropped Ladd.
McConkey was ass for the first month and a half of the season.
He's a rookie. They're always
Brian Thomas was great at the
That
beginning of the
damn
season.
He was a fucking. Of course he's great. He's like a.
Malpractice, B-Way. That's horrible.
He's in an
They
offense
were like
that throws.
15 draft picks apart in real life. Like, this not that far.
Yeah, but
B-Way needs to
how
get, like,
often?
a
How
second.
how often are rookie wide receivers instantly great? They're not. Like they very frequently take time to get better.
You couldn't let him ride the bench for like 4 or 5 weeks, bro. You deserve
It
to
is
get
shocking that he let a Charger go. that
Right.
early. I mean, I'm saying like there is some justification to it. If you thought like, oh, Ladd McConkey's just gonna stay hurt the whole year and not because he had like a training camp injury or something. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know. He still played early.
I'm
but
only
yeah.
mad about it because Reeves picked him up.
You could have picked him. I'm pretty sure. Everyone could have picked him up. Like there was. It's not like he was sitting there. I picked him up. I don't think anyone else put a waivers for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's malpractice.
Yeah. I mean, the Kamara pick was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his best pick.
I think it was his best pick by far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dropped Justin Herbert, and now he's his starting QB. For
I
Sam
think I
Darnold.
also dropped. Yeah, because I played Justin Herbert against Garrett, just to fucking be spiteful. I lost, but well, because I think it was Jordan Love's bye week or something, and I was like, oh fuck it, we'll just play Justin Herbert, and he was like, don't you dare. Yeah, Kamara finished running back 5. Got him at the end of the 4th round. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
There's a lot of bad picks. What do you think the bad picks are?
The number one bad pick in my opinion, or my opinion as of rushing all these earlier because I had to go to work, was Peebo Pamuel.
That's what I had.
Yeah, Debo sucks.
Tebow was not.
And now
good.
he's just complaining in the media.
Pick 23, wide receiver 10 off the board. Finished the season as wide receiver 50, and they missed either 1 or 2 games, so not that many.
Yikers.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
And
Is it Tyreek, though, in the first round? Because he just had such a bad season.
But it's hard for me to blame Tyreek when it's like the Dolphins did malpractice with their quarterback room.
right.
Yeah.
And then Tyreek got fucking punished for it.
Yeah.
But also, it's just the way defenses are playing them this year. They can't get anything deep. It's all underneath.
Yeah.
They're playing like 3 high safety on every play.
Yeah, I think he would have it would have been not a great value pick, but it wouldn't have been like an atrocity
Right.
if Tua
Yeah,
played
yeah.
the whole season.
Like
or
if
the Dolphins got a good backup.
Yeah.
right. Like if it's Tua the entire season, and you know what you know now. Like if we were to redraft today, Tyreek's still probably going in like the 2nd, maybe 3rd round or something.
Yeah, those 4 weeks like really hurt him.
I think he's still probably going 1st round, like 12.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. that's
I
fine.
mean, the potential is always there for.
Bro, if he falls to me and I'm anywhere in the first round, I'm taking it. Bro.
We're not talking about real. We're
I
not
don't
talking
know,
about real
dude.
circumstances.
Achan's going to be a 1st round player next year.
He was this
Yeah,
year. I picked him
absolutely.
first round, right?
No, he was
You picked him at the end of the 2nd, or the beginning of the 2nd,
Oh, yeah, right.
okay, yeah.
because your
I
first
picked the
pick was
first round
Jonathan
separately,
Taylor.
I
You
think.
picked Jonathan Taylor in the 1st round.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, B-Way, unfortunately, this was B-Way's best record yet.
That's
But
sad.
I know that's not like okay, guys. Shit, I'm trying to be nice. Well, if you don't include the Dalton and B-Way season, because Dalton kind of boxed him.
I don't include that season.
So
I-
hopefully B-Way can pick it up next year.
It is a bit of a bummer. 'Cause, like this season, he didn't get the draft, but he did have as B-Way had stated it. He tried, Last
He
season
did,
he couldn't
yeah.
really try. The year before it was Dalton's team really, and this season he actually tried. And yeah, it was a bummer.
And like he had a draft that some of us ranked highly, some of us did not. But yeah, I mean, I think he's getting it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll go to number 9, and that is Travi J.
Travi, who?
At
Who?
6 and 8, I know that's tough.
Who?
It's 6 and 8.
Wow.
10th in points scored, 10th in median score, and the third easiest schedule.
Yeah,
It's pretty shit.
it's pretty bad.
Power rankings. The podcast had him 4th.
Oh, I did
I had
that.
me 6th. Wyatt had me
Oh.
8th. Reeves had me 3rd.
Oh.
And Alex had me 4th.
It's that
I
family.
think I can start the conversation on this team by saying I did not have a best pick option. No one finished significantly above their draft spot.
I looked at your pick and I was kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, bro, I don't know what I like.
After like week 1, I was like Xavier Worthy, but then
Your middest pick is Mike Evans, and that's I guess it. I don't like. There's not everything else is worse than mid. Oh, Trey McBride.
No, okay,
Duh.
hold on.
Trey McBride.
So-
Trey McBride.
DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, and the Pittsburgh defense. I was trying so hard to find a best pick. All finished above where they were taken. If they were taken as wide receiver 20, they finished above wide receiver 20. But it just wasn't significant enough for me to be like, oh, that was a good pick.
Did you say CeeDee Lamb?
Oh, CeeDee Lamb did not. He was close. He was the 4th wide receiver, and he was the 2nd wide receiver taken.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Taysom Hill had that one good week.
Unfortunately, I did not draft Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think it's Trey McBride because Trey McBride realistically is like a top 3 tight end, and
It is. It's
yeah.
definitely Trey McBride. Yeah.
I think, God, I just
what
why don't
value
they
did
throw
you
to
get out
Trey
of Nick
McBride in
Chubb?
the end zone?
What value did you get out of Nick Chubb?
Ass. Nick Chubb fucking blew. It was so bad. Speaking of, this
Did you
team did not
really-
have this team did not have a top 25 running back.
Did you really just ask what value did you get out of him?
And his best game, I fucking benched him. If you really want a good meal. So needless to say, I'm not going to be winning manager of the year.
Are you
Oh,
picking
boy.
Devontae Williams next year? We
Dude,
need
I'm
an
going to
answer
pick him
right-
again. I have
We
a
need an
problem.
answer right
Please
now.
don't. Please don't.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
shit!
My running back room made him laugh so hard the fucking camera went out.
He's so bad.
I think we could also agree the worst pick was Travis Etienne, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's what we did.
I don't even I don't know what the issue was with the process there. Like, I don't know how I was supposed to predict that he would just fall off a goddamn cliff.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess just never take Jaguars. Is my
I mean,
debate.
realistically, you could have seen that he was kind of touchdown dependent last year when he did so well. And you could have been like, okay, we could have scaled him down and drafted him later. But even if you draft him the 4th, 5th round, he's still bad for that. So I have no
His
idea.
running back 38.
Yeah, right. He's fucking terrible.
And well, the issue, okay. We haven't even talked about my team that long. My team
Yeah,
is
that's
not
right.
very good.
it was just funny that Travis's best player, Trey McBride, he reached out to me at some point in the season, being like, "Are you interested in Trey McBride?" And I was like, "Had Kittle and Henry." I was like,
I was just glancing through, and they were both injured, and so I was like, "Oh, our Kittle was injured," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know how long he would be hurt for." So I was trying to
that's
see
right.
if I
Kittle
could just
was. Kittle was hurt.
schmoo something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will say this is definitely the least I've paid attention to fantasy in a long time, and it definitely hurt me when I got fucked.
You'll be back.
Yeah, are you going to pay attention more next year?
Maybe.
Or are you doubling?
I don't
Are you
know.
doubling down the Trisha method?
I mean, I would like to pay attention more. I just I don't know.
You should collude with Trisha
I got
next year.
shit to do.
I heard collusion's a pretty good way of. I heard collusion's a pretty good way of getting
You,
first and
Trisha,
second.
You, Trish, and Justin should all work together, and maybe you'll get like 4th place.
Bro, what the fuck? That was unnecessary shit.
4th place.
Okay, we'll move on to the first playoff team. For the first time in his SimStation career, Brett is in the postseason. At 7-7, he's our 8th seed. He did start 5-1. I think 5-2. Yeah, he started 5-2
for a long time.
He started 4-1, 5-2. Oh, 6-2. Jesus.
God damn. Fell off a fucking cliff.
He did start 6-2. Finished the season 1-6. But or 1-5. I can't do math.
It's fine.
He was 9th in point score, 9th in median score, and had the 4th easiest schedule. The power rankings, again, we were pretty divided. The podcast had him 7th overall. I had him 11th. Wyatt had him 6th. Reese had him 4th. And Alex had him 8th. So we were just all over the fucking board. But Alex got it right. This was so weird because I did my best picks and worst picks. And I gave 2 worst picks and a best pick. And I went back to my notes from the first season, and the 3 picks I hated were the best pick and the 2 worst picks. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, am I smart? Am I dumb? I don't know. What'd y'all think?
Well, what were your best pick, worst picks?
So my best pick was Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Because I think even though he missed 2 or 3 games with injury, he still finished as running back 10.
Yeah.
And I flamed the shit out of this pick. You
did. You absolutely did.
The other 2 I flamed the shit out of were Kyle Pitts, and Reeves pushed back on me on Kyle Pitts, and guess what? He was tight end 15. Fuck that guy.
I mean, he was good for half of it, and then Kirk Cousins forgot how to throw the ball.
It could have been worse for him. Yeah.
And Breece Hall, who finished running back 16, but he was the 5th overall pick.
I think he was also hurt a lot of the year.
You never pick a Jet.
He missed He missed his first game with injury this week against the Dolphins.
Oh, I thought he missed more. All right.
But I think he was he was pulled out of like half a game, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. Brett's team was a very weird one this year, just with its trajectory.
Yeah. Who was your worst pick? Not you. We'll get to you eventually.
Breece Hall and Kyle Pitts.
Oh, both of them were. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Breece Hall, because like he was picked so highly, and he finished as like a running back 2. So yeah, I guess that one. But I wrote both of them down. I wrote a couple for multiple people.
Interesting. Yeah. You know,
what did you have for yours?
I'll do my personal worst pick. I didn't really know what was the actual worst pick, so I put Marvin Harrison just because he drafted him so highly, or like pretty highly. And I mean, he was a lot better than other people's worst picks, but he just, especially because he drafted receivers really late, and that was supposed to be like his receiver cornerstone, along with Chris Olave, who was hurt but didn't turn out. He had some issues.
Yeah, I think Marvin Harrison finished as like wide receiver 22 or something. And
but he was drafted
the
like 10
wide receiver overall.
Yeah.
He was drafted. Yeah, he was the 9th wide receiver drafted. Pick number 20.
And like for me, it wasn't like he was the worst pick, but because that was his worst position and that was his best player at the worst position, and he failed that much. Like that was supposed to be his cornerstone, and he fucked up that much. Like I don't know. Although, however, ironically, Courtland Sutton did have a very, very good end of the year and half of the year, which is very surprising because I feel like Joe Mixon and Courtland Sutton are like 2 players we've like flamed before. Like, why are people drafting these players this high or at all? And somehow like they did well. So, lol.
I feel like I remember Courtland Sutton being on the worst pick list 2 years in a row. And now he's popping the fuck off.
Yep. Banky, what do you think?
I always just go straight to injuries because like I don't know, it was like a terrible pick. I mean,
he didn't really have. I mean, Chris Olave was the.
He had a lot of guys hurt too.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't
No.
have a ton hurt, but like Chris Olave was hurt for
It
the
was
entire
really
year.
Olave and the Joe Mixon injury, and then Christian Kirk.
I mean, Mike Williams
Wow.
kind of sucked.
Christian Kirk was just
And he
bad,
switched
though.
teams halfway through the year.
Mike Williams was bad too, though. Yeah, but he was also low. He was a low pick. So, but Christian Kirk was I was debating Christian Kirk because Christian Kirk he drafted decently highly, and when he played, he was bad, and when he didn't play, he was hurt. So,
Those late picks are the most important picks, though.
but he wasn't even that late. It wasn't even like 10th round. He was 7th round, which is still decently
It was-
high.
Mike Williams? Oh.
Oh, no,
Mike Williams,
Christian Kirk.
12.
I think he's talking about Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I'm talking about Christian Kirk. Mike Williams he was fucking late. I don't
Yeah,
think
but I
they're
mean,
that
like-
important. Like if you hit it, it's good. Ooh woo. But if you miss, who cares? Doesn't make it a bad pick.
And Kirk obviously can look in the rest of the round. Chris Godwin was amazing until he got hurt. Calvin Ridley was okay. Brian Thomas Jr. was really good, and Jaden
Chris
Reed had his
Godwin.
moments.
What are you talking about? What? Oh, you're talking about the
Picked
rest.
right
Oh,
after
the rest of the
Christian
round.
Kirk.
Okay,
I'm saying,
I
yeah,
see.
picked right after Christian Kirk. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they definitely could have been better value there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brett, his team is. I think Trisha's probably better than this team. If we're being real, like Trisha should have been the 8th spot in the playoffs most likely.
Probably. Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
Brett started 6-2. So you know what? You get your wins, King. Go off. I do think he has a chance in some of these. I mean, he's against Biz, is a really tough opponent in the first round. I think he has a chance
There's always a chance.
with his running backs being as Brees Hall plays. I don't know if he is being as explosive as they are. I feel like he always has a chance, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I guess.
His team looks surprisingly decent this week, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be one of many good matchups.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. Alex, get your fucking donut ready because we are about to glaze the balls off of Steele.
Oh my.
Steele's 7th seed, finished 8-6, his best record ever as well. Congratulations, Steele. Finished 2nd in points scored, 3rd in median score, and 2nd hardest schedule in the league. The podcast. Surprisingly, Alex scored him way higher than everyone else did. Alex had him at 3rd overall.
3rd overall.
Reeves had him at 12.
Yeah.
I had him at 8. I had him at 10, and the podcast had him at 10.
Ouch.
I don't even know if like.
I was the only one not Steel hating.
See, the thing is like I don't even know if Steele's overall team was that good. Just he had some very, very good luck with a few players that hard carried him.
I don't know. I looked for a worse pick, and I was like, I really like. I mean, I
That's
think
kind
the
of what
worst pick-
happens in a good fantasy team, though, is you get hard carried by a couple good players.
Yeah, but like he didn't even like. I would like look at his team, and he was constantly starting like Austin Eckler with a guy in front, like with Brian Robinson starting in front of him, and Bateman, like Rashad
Eckler
Bateman
was really good until he got hurt because they were
I mean,
using
he
the
was
shit.
okay.
Out
I
of
don't know
him.
if he's really good. He was okay.
He went out and got
I
his
mean, really
boy
good for his
something.
draft position, especially.
Yeah. Okay.
He
Sure.
was a contender for best draft pick, but until he got hurt.
Anyway, obviously Steele's team ended up way better than 12th, so yeah, I sucked on that one.
Again, look at where my 12th team is. Like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think there's a lot of contenders for best pick. What do y'all think?
Gosh.
It's one of two. It's one of two. It's either Jamar Chase or Chris Godwin. I don't like. He has other good picks, but I'm putting Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin, because even though Jamar Chase is in the first round, he's been so much better than every other receiver. And Chris Godwin, because he picked him so late, even though he got hurt, I still think I don't care. Like he got hurt, I don't care. I'm still putting him because for where he got him, he was a excellent pick.
No David Montgomery, huh?
I was gonna say David Montgomery.
Compared to Chris Godwin was better for the position, and he was drafted lower.
Yeah,
But Montgomery played.
and Montgomery is
Chris
like
Godwin,
this
yeah.
guy, and he drafted him, and he performed well for him.
I don't know. Montgomery's
I
like
give props to
running
that.
back like 12 or something.
He's running back 8.
I don't know. Running back 8 is, I mean, obviously it's really good, but
He's higher than examples like Devon A-Chain.
But that was
James
because
Cook,
but
James
that's
Conner.
that's also considering Dolphins being hurt and James Cook. Okay, he's better than James Cook.
Achan's
He's better
been
than James. I
helpful.
thought he was
James
better than James
Conner.
I thought he was better than James Conner. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm saying you get a running back one, and not even
Look-
like a fringe running back one, but like a real running back one
I think
in the fourth round.
Look, he's a really good player. I'm not gonna say he's not a good player. I just think compared to Jamar Chase and compared to Chris Godwin, where he's drafted, like I will take those as better picks. I'm not gonna say he's not a bad. He's an excellent pick. He's a very good pick.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a bad pick.
I will say for record, I had Jamar Chase as my best pick for him.
You asshole. You're arguing.
I think Steele's draft, which I did not like at the time, ended up being really good.
Yeah, he did.
Um,
Annoyingly so, because he just happened to hit on so much. And like
Yeah.
with one piece that goes off, like it can fall apart, and it just didn't. God damn it.
well, his worst pick, ironically, he traded
Right.
1-to-1 for just a better player.
And it was a good trade. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was a good trade by Steele, trading Pat Mahomes to Banglewood.
Why are you starting Patrick Mahomes? Why aren't you starting Tua?
I am starting to.
You started Patrick Mahomes like 3 weeks in a row, didn't you?
Last 2 weeks I did.
Damn.
Yeah, and I should have started Tua. Tua scored more.
Yeah, Trois. Hawk
I think
Trois.
Travis Kelce's worst pick, round 2.
See, that was
I
my
don't
instinct. And I definitely do think he was overdrafted just because he's a tight end. He finished as tight end 5.
Yeah, the tight end was
Oh,
terrible
really?
this year. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. It's definitely Patrick Mahomes is the worst pick because he was in
saw
round
the 2
3.
TDs, and I was like, that's not Kelsey.
No, yeah, tight end's so bad that like Jonnu Smith is tight end 4, and he didn't even like start like catching balls for the Dolphins for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Tight end's just kind of tight end's really 3 players and then like a bunch of question marks.
Yep.
And okay, 3 plus Mark Andrews, who is consistent as fuck now that he's alive again. But yeah, I think those two are clearly the worst. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is quarterback 10. I don't know if he's ever. So technically, he's a starter, which kind of
He's not
shocked me.
been like terrible. He's just not had any like crazy good games.
But
He's just
I think-
been like
But he drafted him as a top 3 quarterback, and usually if you draft the top 3 quarterback, you want him like that. The difference between a top 3 or 4 quarterback is astronomical.
Yeah.
He's
compared
quarterback
to,
2.
like quarterback 10. Right? If you look at like a running back 10 and a running back 4, man, they're not really that different. If you look at a quarterback 3 or 4 compared to a quarterback 10, it's like night and day. Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
the player he was traded for, Sam Darnold, who was quarterback 6 at the end of the year, it's a 40-point difference. Like it's a pretty substantial.
But part of the reason I traded was because, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe just Patrick Mahomes would be way more consistent down the stretch than Sam Darnold. Like, Sam Darnold's run had to come to an end soon, but I guess it just didn't. So that was kind of like the thinking I had. And I don't mind helping Steele out, so.
You
also-
asshole.
He tried to give me, like, another player, too. I think, like, Dobbs. And I was like, nah, just 1 for 1. I was like...
I do think because you had Tua, who even when he's dog shit like he was last week, he is great in fantasy.
Yeah.
That you
gets
could
a ton of
make a trade like that, like a sell
Yeah.
high. But yeah, Sam Darnold just kept being really fucking good, which was kind of crazy.
I think definitely like the potential issue about Tua is when the Dolphins have a bad week because Tua doesn't run the ball at all. He's fucking bad. Like he is bad in fantasy. Luckily, the majority of the time he's good though, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Do you disagree? Like when they played even though he got hurt when they played the Bills, Tua was
Well, they
unplayable.
never play good against the Bills. The whole team is
Exactly,
shit the bed against-
right? Exactly. He's got weeks where he plays bad, and like you don't want to start him.
That's
But
2 weeks, bro. And the second one hasn't even happened yet.
and he was out for a lot of the season. But anyway, all right.
I mean, yeah.
Trying
I
to
think we'll move on.
It's okay. You can get
we
your
like
data. It's fine.
we like Steele's team.
Bro, why are you so defensive today? What the fuck?
All right, the next two we have a pretty interesting stretch because the next 2 teams got all of our first place votes, all 4 of ours.
Oh boy.
We're going to start with the 6th seed is Becca, our second of the 5, 8, and 6 teams. 7th in scoring, 5th in median scoring. She got a nice jump there. I think it was almost as much, or she had a almost 3-point jump from her medians. The second easiest schedule, which definitely helped. Power rankings, I had her 1, Reeves had her 1, Alex had her 2, Wyatt had her 5. And the podcast had her as number 1 overall. Um, this was a tough one because the draft is insane,
Yeah.
but also some of her best picks aren't on the fucking team anymore.
Guess what? First pick curse is still in existence as Curse Rekaboo has established.
Hey, she did make the playoffs this year.
Look,
Yeah.
we're definitely not done talking about this team, but there were very much things out of her control that you would never be able to know. What is it? 5? Hold on, what is it? I think 4 or 5 of her players either have injuries where they've missed multiple weeks or out for the season. Her first round pick out for the season. Her second round pick out for the season. Her third round pick actively carrying her. Her fourth round pick out for the season. Her fifth round pick out for the season. Let's see. Is anyone else? So Chase Brown was a good pick, but she traded to me. George Pickens has now been out last week and is probably going to be out this week when she needs him. And Bucky Irving also was out last week, or he was playing last week and got hurt. I don't know if he's going to play this week. So, this might be, I don't know, maybe, I can't remember exactly, but this might be the most a team has been injured in our fantasy history. It's been a lot.
Speaking of, this is a pretty good opportunity to insert something that Becca sent us today.
Oh,
so,
boy.
Alex,
yeah.
if you want to grab your phone, and I will send this in our chat. I will put it up on screen. We're gonna get a live reaction from Reeves and Bengal. Well, Benglewood can't. We can hear him though. Oh, it didn't. Here we
Can
go.
y'all still see me?
What the shit is that?
What?
What the fuck is this?
This is Becca's graphic that she decided to design.
This is the year the first pick goes.
Oh god, Jordan Brooks being on there is kind of tough.
Bro, it's not even. It's a different player, Jonathan Brooks.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it was really Becca had a shit ton of injuries. I think that's the. All right, amazing graphic. Becca.
Why is it George Costanza? I don't care.
Isn't that her logo?
Oh wait, it is. You're right. I completely forgot about that.
Okay.
That's
what I will say about Becca's team. 2 of the people in that graphic had really bad running back injuries before the draft. There was speculation that Christian McCaffrey was going to miss several weeks, except the team kept saying no. But the reporters were saying he could miss serious time. I had him on my do not draft list.
I didn't see those reports. I just saw he was questionable. Obviously, Jonathan Brooks is like, okay, you draft him with the potential that he comes back week 8 or something, and you get a running back. That didn't happen.
Especially because
he hurt himself again.
Chuba Hubbard was actually good.
Right, Chuba Hubbard was good, and Jonathan Brooks got hurt again. Lol.
So normally, again, I don't like to do injured players, but I did say Christian McCaffrey was the worst pick because we knew he was hurt. It's a hamstring injury. He's a running back. He's also super injury prone.
It wasn't a hamstring. It wasn't a hamstring injury. It was an Achilles injury.
Okay, Achilles, whatever. It's a fucking leg injury on a running back. And he's a player who gets hurt all the time.
That's fair.
It's like drafting Debo. You have to assume and George Kittle, right? You have to assume they're going to miss games. Christian McCaffrey is super injury prone.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know if anyone expected him to be out. Maybe he's questionable, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe he misses like a week or 2. But I don't know if anyone expected him just to be out 8 weeks of the season, and then he comes back, and then he's out the rest of the season.
That's fair.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but and on the other hand, her best picks near the bottom, like you talked about, Chase Brown got traded away, Jerry Jeudy got dropped, and then Jordan Addison, who she did keep on her team, helped a lot in the final week to carry her to an 8-6 victory or 8-6 record.
Yeah.
Talk. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I feel like this is.
I thought her worst pick was Brandon Ayuk. Because even though CMC, like, once again, you could say like, oh, okay, he's hurt, he's got a lower body injury, he's gonna be out multiple weeks, whatever. Like, I didn't know he was gonna be out multiple weeks. I just saw he was questionable, whatever. But even so, when he came back, he was still more useful than Brandon Ayuk. And Brandon Ayuk started the year, wasn't injured, was bad, and like look at this. So Christian McCaffrey played 4 games, scores 40 points. Brandon Ayuk plays 7 games, scores 49 points, and then they're both out for the whole season. So yeah, I'm picking Brandon Ayuk as the worst pick, even if Christian McCaffrey played less.
That's a fair point. Who do you guys have as your best pick?
Addison.
Pretty good one. Baby, you know I gotta pick Chase Brown because he's on my team carrying me. Let's go.
Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen.
That's the thing. So Josh Allen's not even quarterback 1, which I didn't realize Lamar was still.
Yes, sir.
Even though Josh Allen had his fucking 60-point game. It's because he had like 2 10-point games. Another thing I did not realize is that Jerry Jeudy is wide receiver 10 on the season.
Really?
Isn't that all from like this last game where he scored 35?
It's all from like 3 games, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that you had a guy that did end up popping off in the playoffs. Granted, I think she dropped him when they still had Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
And Deshaun Watson fucking blew. But he was technically the 59th wide receiver taken and finishes wide receiver 10. Addison was the 50th wide receiver taken, finishes wide receiver 16. Chase Brown was the 35th running back taken, finishes running back 12. Which I did not realize he was that high. There's so many good late round picks here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like Rashee Rice, who got hurt. He was like, before he got hurt, I mean, he was like a top 3 wide. He was really fucking good. And 4th round, like, I'll take it. I should have taken him in the if he's not gonna get hurt. I should have taken him in like the 3rd round. I wanted to take him at like the 5th, but I knew I wasn't gonna get him. So yeah.
I guess her easy schedule did help balance the curse a little bit. So good drafting and the easy schedule.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the other team we had ranked with number 1 picks. Wyatt at number 5, also 8 and 6, 6 in points scored, 8th in median. He had a pretty big drop. 4th in points, so he had the 4th hardest schedule. Power rankings: Podcast 2, Travis 2, Wyatt 1, Alex 1, and Reeves 8. I don't know. What do we think? He started 0-4.
Yeah,
and finished 8 and 6, which is pretty fucking nuts. It's kind of the reverse Brett.
Yeah, I think it's the first 0-4 team that's made the playoffs.
It is indeed.
Yeah, pretty good.
I like the Scary Terry pick. Ended up having a really good season.
Geraldo did, in fact, do well.
Yeah, it took a couple weeks for him to take off, but he was the 31st wide receiver taken and finished as wide receiver 5.
Yep.
Brian Thomas Jr. was also a great pick, I think.
Yeah.
To me, that's the other standout.
He got them back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but consecutive picks, I guess, for him.
Where did Brian Thomas finish?
Mooney had a couple good games.
He immediately dropped Mooney, though.
He did. I think
he's still playing well. Mooney's playing well.
Oh, he did. I'm just looking at the draft results.
Yeah, he drafted him. He saw Kirk Cousins was bad. He dropped him, and then he started picking up, and he's been good for Justin.
Who'd y'all have as his worst pick?
Rachaad White, easy.
Really?
Yes. What do you mean? Yeah.
I think there's a better one.
Who?
AJ Brown.
No, I'd still rather.
AJ Brown.
Rachaad White is. I don't even know if he's He's like borderline startable. And even though AJ Brown's been mid, I'd probably still rather start AJ Brown over Rachaad White, unless Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker are injured. Like, I'm just praying for a Rachaad White touchdown, basically, to start him. And AJ Brown, I still think he's fine, especially because the receiver was kind of mid this year.
He scored single digits in 4 of his last 6 games.
He's not had a good stretch.
The 3 players selected behind him, too, are Gibbs, Puka, and Devon Achane.
Yeah.
So
I was not a huge fan of the AJ Brown pick when it happened. I thought he was decent, but I obviously didn't think he was going to be this bad. But I don't know. Still, I thought Rashad White was like, that was one where I was like, okay, I have question marks about this pick, and yeah.
Yeah, but those were the two I had written down. This was Rashad White, AJ Brown. I
Yeah.
think I ended up going with AJ Brown as my number one, just because first round picks. That's where you want to get your superstar.
when you
to
bust
get
on
the
your
guy
first
who's-
round pick, yeah, it's tough.
Oh, you're busting on your first. Did you pick a Dolphin? You didn't even pick a Dolphin in the first round.
I busted on my first round pick last year, Nick Chubb.
You
You
wait.
busted on a Chubb, baby.
Didn't Nick Chubb bust on you?
No, I was
He
fine.
busted his ACL on him. Yeah,
Oh my.
Like more like his whole entire knee.
he did, his knee did just fucking explode.
I remember being at Mellow Mushroom and seeing that injury and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, your team was so cursed last year.
You got second.
Yeah, I guess
It wasn't
yeah.
that cursed. He had like 3 injuries. Not that cursed.
It was cursed really early.
it was
Yeah.
my 3. Beckham's worse this year, but it was 3 of my top 4 picks that were out for season. But that was it. Yeah, I was fine.
I feel like I don't have a lot to say about White's team. I like it a lot. I mean,
It just started slow.
It's gotten a lot better. I think I'm honestly surprised. I thought he was been scoring a lot higher recently, and he's actually been scoring kind of average.
the other note I think on his is he had an insane first half schedule. It was the hardest schedule by almost 50 points against compared to Reeves, who was second in the first 7 games. So his opponents were just scoring like crazy, which he started 2-5 in the first 7. And that kind of explains it, right? Where it's like, holy shit, his opponents were just popping off. And even then, he finished in 4th in points against, the 4th hardest schedule. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. So,
Yeah.
I also move on to number 4, and that's Rabusachun. He's also 8-6. First in points for, first in median scoring, and 6th in points against. Also, you had a huge you and Biz both had huge jumps in median scores, almost 5 points. So you just got cucked by some outliers, is what it seems like.
I had 2 sub 100 weeks, and every other week I was destroying.
So Alex had you at 10th. Completely forgot about that.
I did not.
You had yourself at 7th. Wyatt had you at 2, and I had you exactly at 4. The podcast rounded out at 5. So we were pretty all over the board.
Yep.
I don't know, Reese. Well, tell us about your season. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my team. If I honestly am at the point where I wish we were playing with another flex spot, because if we had another flex spot, my team would be fucking juicy.
12 teams with 2 flexes. Fuck that.
But like my team would love that right now. But I have too many good players. I don't know how to play. But you know, I could use maybe a little more top end. But overall, in the last few weeks, my team's starting to come together, and I'm starting to feel real confident in it. So I like that. Where before it was like, okay, I have Lamar, and I have a bunch of other players that are like pretty good. Now it's like, okay, Gibbs is starting to play well. Puka's fucking good. I have Chase Brown. I still have Lamar. Tyreek's starting to do things. Like I'm pretty happy with my team. I'm still scared, but I'm pretty happy with my team.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty fair.
It's a really good team.
Yeah.
And a good draft too. But I need to go look at your roster.
This is by far my best draft I've ever had. My team did not change that much with the draft, and yeah, after like week 4, I'm like, holy fucking shit, my draft was actually insane this year. There were still picks that I missed, but or not even picks that I missed. There were picks that I could have done better at, but there were not many picks that just had the bottom drop out. Like most of my picks, I gained like ADP on. So
How many guys drafted are still on your team?
a lot.
You got
The
Gibbs,
first 4.
So
Puka.
yeah, so I have
Lamar.
Lamar,
Brian
Puka,
Robinson.
Gibbs, Kincaid, because I got him back. Brian Robinson,
London.
Drake
Yeah.
London, Tyler Algier, Trey
Okay.
Benson. All those players
Oh,
I
there you go.
drafted. Not necessarily good players, but all the good players that I drafted are London, Robinson. Kincaid's on my team. I don't know. Gibbs,
I don't know if I
Puka,
call it.
and Lamar, which is like way more than last year, where I had like one player at the end of the year because my draft was actually fucking god awful.
Okay, so in your mind, what's your best pick?
I put a combination of Lamar, Bucky Irving, and Jordan Mason. I think probably Lamar.
It's Lamar.
Probably Lamar, just because he's been so good. But I really just like the Bucky Irving and Jordan Mason were like insane values.
Yeah.
But I obviously, if there's any, like, I don't want to give up Lamar. I would give up pretty much any player on my team for Lamar because he's been.
Was he above Josh Allen?
He's 30 points above Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got him around later, so
Yeah.
And Joe
I got him.
Burrow's,
I got him at the end of.
that's definitely your best.
Either at the end of the third or the beginning of the fourth, one of those picks. But I mean, like I was still happy, like really happy with like Drake London because Drake London I got late too, and he turned out well. Puka is weird because he was hurt for the whole year, but now he's turning out to be like really, really good.
I wouldn't call that a bad pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really have that many bad picks. And ironically,
Aiden Reed's a good pick. You flipped him for a first rounder.
Jaden Reed, I got exactly what I wanted. I got all the points, and then I flipped him for a first round, and then he fucking crashed. Now he's like all over the place.
Even Kincaid, who I think was your worst pick, you flipped for Tyreek Hill. So who fucking cares?
Yeah. Right. I'll take it. Yeah, and I still have him because he got hurt, and now he's not. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team. Once again, could have done better. Could have done
like
better. Yeah.
one of those like three teams that's a favorite to like win it all.
I don't want to think that way. I really like.
Well,
my
I said
team.
I think that.
I know, but I don't want you to. I don't want you to hype me up because I'm nervous as hell, and I don't want to.
Do you want me to say it's bad?
Sorry, I think that. I hate to break it to you.
It's not. Your team's good. What do you want me to say?
I think my team is good, but I don't want to lose this week and then be like, oh, I had this team that I thought was good and every other team thought was good, but guess what? Doesn't matter because I lost in the first round. Gee.
That's why we play fantasy, baby.
Again, why went 11 and fucking 3 in the first year and lost in the first round?
Yeah,
but he didn't. Was he the highest scoring? I don't know if he was the highest scoring team though. Was he?
It's all about how you do in that one playoff game, you know.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
I've been racking my brain over who the fuck I'm going to start this week because I have to. I'm going to bench, and right now this is actually what I'm playing. I'm benching Drake London, who's not been a bad play, although with Kirk Cousins is playing bad, so he's been basically playing mid, but he's not been a bad play. But yeah, I don't, and I'm benching McConkey too. Like I would be perfectly happy starting McConkey this week if I had to start McConkey in a playoff game and he's actually like healthy. Sure, go for it. I'll sign me up. Let's go. I'm down for that. But yeah, I'm nervous that I'm going to make an error somewhere. Like one of the guys on my bench is gonna pop off and one of my starters isn't. But I think I'm making the right choice. I'm a little scared.
Trust the process, bro. You've had a good season so far.
Send it. You're playing with house money too. So, all right. Number 3, or did y'all have an opinion on worst pick besides?
I put Kincaid.
Watson.
I mean, Christian Watson did exactly what I thought he was going to do. I drafted him there. I thought I was going to hold on him for a couple of weeks to see if he was going to be the Packers' number 1 wide receiver. And if he wasn't, I was going to get rid of him. And I knew he was going to have a couple good weeks, and otherwise he wasn't. And so, obviously it probably wasn't the best pick because I probably could have got like JSN, which would have been amazing. But yeah,
I just said that because I know he's a free agent right now.
Oh yeah, right. So he was not a great pick, but he was pretty low down. So.
All right, we'll move on to number 3, our final 8 and 6 team, because he owned like basically every fucking tiebreaker somehow. It's Spencer. His tiebreakers were literally insane.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
He is 4th in points, 7th in median. His median was fucking crazy. He had the highest change of any team. He dropped 8 points from his mean to his median score.
Damn.
His median went down. He went from 4th to 7th. I was like, what the? I haven't looked to see like why, but it's kind of crazy.
I think he just had like 2 or 3 weeks where he had like 135, and then everything else was just kind of mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's see, fifth in points. He had the fifth hardest schedule, about in the middle for everything basically. And the podcast, this is the guy we were actually the most consistent on. I had him the highest at 3. Reason Alex had him at 5. Wyatt had him at 7. Podcast had him at 3, and he ended 3. So we were all pretty close right there. I mean, because obviously he's tied for 6th or tied for 7th, as well as 3rd. But
yeah, I think it's hard because
he
like
had a great draft too.
You know, I do want to say something because at the beginning of the year, I said something very non-controversial, and I said that I think all of these teams are like really close together, and it's hard for me to rate them in any which way. And you guys gave me shit, and it
we give you
turns
shit
out
because it's a cowardly take.
it's not a cowardly take. It's what I thought was going to be like. And guess what? Everyone was squished together. We were all about the same.
Just like the conditional picks and pick'ems. It's just like scared. Scared money don't make no money.
It was not scared money. It was how I viewed the teams. I viewed the teams very equal. And guess what? The teams are all pretty equal.
Reeves, we are a media machine. If Stephen A. Smith got on ESPN and said, I think there's about 20 NBA teams that are pretty close, no one would watch this fucking show. He has to go, no, the New York Knicks are the best team in the NBA. Okay?
Fair.
You don't make money.
That's fair. Are we making money, Travis?
One of us is. Let's see. So yeah,
Sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
I actually did think it was interesting because I thought Spencer's draft was like pretty solid, but nothing crazy standout.
Yeah,
which is what I thought about his whole team. Yeah. So I was like, that's kind of
same.
He's got like 4 players that could be his best pick.
Yeah. So I guess what did y'all pick?
I like the Jaden Daniels pick, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
As the best pick, but then he's also got Jared Goff like 3 rounds later. Yeah. So that was huge also.
And Derrick Henry as obviously we were shitting on Derrick Henry, and here he is rumbling down, shitting on us now.
Just had a crazy season.
I put Derrick Henry and Jaden Daniels.
Did you see cut off his dreads? Do you think what's that story about in the Bible where the guy cut his hair and he lost all his powers? Do you think Derrick Henry's like that? Do you think?
I'm not in the Bible Belt anymore. I don't have this shit.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
All I remember is the 3 guys
Someone
that
will
go
know
into
what I just referenced.
All I know is the 3 guys that go into the furnace. Shadrach and Indigo or whatever the fuck. Yeah. All right. Enough of that.
He just cut off his huge dreads and now he has cornrows. So what if he just becomes ass now? He's always had that huge dread. Well, it's braided, but
how did it fit in his helmet?
Man, you need to ask him that, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it. Go down the rabbit hole, Reeves. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how pretty much everyone Spencer picked either traded to Wyatt or is contributing, except for Amari Cooper, who was fucking ass.
But
I thought he was gonna be good on Buffalo too.
Wide receiver 68.
Oh,
despite having
my.
2 games, he has 2 games missed. But yeah, he's picked 55 and ended as wide receiver 68.
Oh,
that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think Spencer can win the championship? I guess is the question.
Probably.
Because that's gonna be the question for these top teams.
I don't think he's the best team, but realistically, I think. I mean, I could see a way that all 8 teams could win the championship. Right? I think it's more likely for some because they have to win multiple weeks back to back.
He's got the players with big pop-off potential, like Amon-Ra, Derrick Henry, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff. All those guys have high. Jared Goff could score 50 points any single week.
Jared Goff.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels the same way.
But he's gonna start one or the other. He can't start both.
But
so
I know
that's one.
Flipping him around. He really is not decided on one starter.
No, I am aware, but I guess my point is if they both have pop-off weeks, he doesn't.
Either one that he starts, he's got 3 guys in the lineup that could just go for huge numbers.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, well, we'll see how Spencer fares. I did
Oh
forget
wait,
Spencer.
wait? What was his?
I mean, James Cook too. He's had some weeks where he went crazy.
What was his worst pick?
I said Amari Cooper.
Oh right.
Yeah,
I
it's
kind of
definitely
honestly I
Mark.
forgot about Amari Cooper. I put
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, but he's been a lot better recently. So, but I think Amari Cooper is probably a better one.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews was definitely overdrafted. I just think he started to pop. He started having some great weeks at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's
He's
obviously
coming
what
off
you
that
wanna-
injury from last year too, so
All right, we'll move into our 2 top seeds. Number 2 is Banglewood at 9-5, 5th in points scored, 6th in median, the easiest schedule in the league.
yup.
It's also of our Power Rankings podcast had him 7th. I had him 7th. Wyatt had him 9th. Reeves had him 6th, and he had himself 7th. So we all kind of missed on this one. We thought he'd be towards the bottom. And again, obviously he's only one game above 7th place. So
Honestly, it's funny because we're here. He ended up towards the top, but I still feel like he's a mid playoff team, and that's about where I ranked him.
What? Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. You got granted, J.K. Dobbins probably your best pick is hurt, and what's his face Jonathan Taylor has not been playing well, and so that kind of is and DK has not been super. So that's kind of participating to you falling off a little bit at the end of the season. I'm not gonna say you're a bad team. Obviously, you're the second team. I think all these teams are good.
I'm starting Ridley over DK now. Last couple
Oh fuck,
it was a bold call.
that is something.
Well, it paid off. Ridley's been doing good.
I think that I question where the ceiling is on this team. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's not really bad picks, although a lot of these players have. I struggle to find a best pick because so many of them have missed time.
Yeah.
It's one of those old school play defense, run the ball type of teams. We're not gonna
Yeah.
score 40, but we can get a solid win.
Pretty much.
Alex is the Chargers.
Yeah.
I
We're just a grinded out team,
yeah.
No one
Travis-
wants to face us. No one wants
Travis,
to face
Travis, I completely agree with you because it's just the best player on this team is Achan, but he's been not great for a lot of it because of Tua was missing, and he's gotten better, but he's still not excellent. And then J.K. Dobbins by far was the best value, but now he's on IR. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean George Kittle
think
is another really good pick.
Yeah,
by the way,
he's been really good. Yeah.
He
I
has
honestly think
popped
I'm
off.
fine at running back. I'm solid at wide receiver, and I'm fine at quarterback. So
I think but
I like my chances.
You're solid, but I think you're overall for the season, or at least even in the playoffs with Dobbins, you could have been a little better. Like you still have depth. You still have Najee. Lol. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any holes on the roster.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that's one reason why you finished 9-5. It's more just where's this pop off? And I think of the bottom 4 teams, you got the toughest draw potentially with Steele.
I know. I thought I had Becca, and then it changed.
I did. I posted all the head-to-head scenarios. Yeah, Steele had really bad head-to-heads, so he just ended up.
Yeah,
wanting to go to rankings.
I need a good week from Achan, and then if everyone else just does okay, then I usually win. That's kind of how this team is. Or if Cooper Kupp has a great week, and then everyone else just does fine, then I win.
Cooper Pup.
And it's I usually one of my guys will pop off, and if the others will just get 10 points, then I'm straight. And that's usually what happens.
So Alice, what was the pick what do you think your worst pick is? Because I struggled finding your worst pick.
I picked Jalen Warren way too early. I probably could have got him later. And I haven't started him one time, but he's still on my team.
You
The
picked him
funny
right
thing
after
about this
Najee.
draft is I think I have all these guys still except Hollywood Brown and Justin Herbert and Houston defense and Jake Bates. So
But isn't that what you do pretty much every year unless they get hurt?
yeah, I ride the
Yeah.
draft. So Jalen Wright wasn't a good pick either, but he's just a stash anyway.
Yeah.
DK might be my worst pick just because
Nah.
he started off really strong and now he's kind of falling off a little bit. But
Nah.
I think it's Warren and Hollywood Brown. I think those are the 2.
oh yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Just 'cause he didn't
JT
play.
He never played. He just never played. Yeah.
I think because of how high he was, JT's been mid. And
He's
out
been
of all
solid for me all year, man.
Yeah, but like, you want your first round. I don't. I feel like he's in he's in that AJ Brown range, but for Wyatt's team. But except for Wyatt's team had a player that I thought was a worse pick in Rashad White, and you don't necessarily, except for maybe Jalen Warren. But that's like so far down, it doesn't have as big of an impact.
I guess I'm like more okay with the Jonathan Taylor pick because like as long as I get solid production from a first round pick, then I consider that a dub. Like as long as he doesn't have any like terrible weeks. Which
That's fair. But yeah, we're
last
just comparing.
year I
I'm just
didn't even
comparing
have
it.
a number one pick, so maybe that's what I'm basing it on.
Right, but I guess I'm just saying it because once you don't have any holes like we just talked about. You don't really have any holes in your team, but you don't have the pop off. And so Jonathan Taylor's he's playing that role exactly where he's making sure you don't have any holes, but he's not exciting.
Yeah, I think if he didn't miss 3 games, I mean he'd be a lot. His overall rankings would be a lot better.
He'd be a lot more attractive, yeah.
Probably.
That's for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair.
But okay. All right, we'll move on to number 1. I had Jalen Warren also. I
thought especially after you drafted, literally in like the round after Najee, you drafted Jalen Warren too.
I picked Calvin Ridley in between them.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I forgot about that.
All right, Biz, the number 1 team in the power rankings, 9 and 5, third in scoring, second in median scoring, the 7th hardest schedule. The podcast had her ranked 11th.
Oh boy.
I had her ranked 12th.
Oh boy.
Reeves had her ranked 10th.
Oh boy.
Alex had her ranked 9th.
Oh boy.
And Wyatt had her ranked 4th.
Fuck.
So he actually got a huge hit there compared to all of us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Biz. I feel like Biz has been like almost like a sleeping giant this season. Even when she was in first, I didn't think she was like that crazy in scoring. But I mean, her median scoring is really high. It's fair. That's a decent. It's a decent bit below Reeves, but it's like substantially higher than Steele's. Even though she's scored lower.
And she started off with, I think she was 0-2 or 0-3. And she kind of just like kept churning. And she got there.
Yeah, she started off 0-2.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
but then started like 3-2.
I actually see Biz's roster construction a lot like Banglewood's, where there's not a lot of holes, except she does have a couple players that actually have pop-off, or more pop-off than Banglewood. So I think she's definitely more of a complete team.
So what do you see now that you didn't see, 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Before I thought JSN was questionable, and I thought Chuba Hubbard was questionable, and now I'm a fucking idiot because those picks were amazing.
Yeah,
because those picks saved her roster. Those picks were great for her team, and now I'm a fucking moron.
I will also recall, to roast myself a little bit, I had heard a lot of things about Burrow having a degenerative hand issue.
I do remember that. Yeah, you're talking about his wrist.
So I really went hard on the Joe Burrow is going to be shit this year.
Yeah, that worked out well.
He has a crazy wrist injury.
That worked out well.
Yeah. He's quarterback 2. So that was tough.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I guess what did y'all... I think she had a lot of candidates for best pick. Yeah. Just because there was a lot of really good picks on here. What did y'all go with?
I went for Bubbard and JSN. Just because I think her biggest issue was flex in the beginning, was flex and wide receiver. And she still had some wide receiver issues, kind of. But JSN and a couple other receivers did a really good job of becoming stopgaps. And Chuba Hubbard came out of fucking nowhere and was not only a serviceable flex, has been a very excellent flex play. So, yeah, fuck me.
Yeah, Beth picked Chuba Hubbard. Or
Beth picked.
Or Joe Burrow, yeah.
Beth picked Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was taken behind Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud and Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And one pick before Dak Prescott.
Oh boy.
Was Jamison Williams good this year?
He was good. He got suspended for 2 games and I believe injured for 1.
Oh.
Yeah, I think, and even like Josh Jacobs got good value, even though compared to the other picks, it's not anything crazy. But
the fucking Packers offense has gotten really weird because they've just decided they're not going to pass the ball anymore. and they're just going to run the ball over and over. And so Josh Jacobs is not involved in the receiving role at all, but they just run him over and over and they give him all the touchdowns. And so because of that, he's been very useful for fantasy purposes, as long as, he gets touchdowns.
No.
I don't appreciate you bringing up that they decided to not throw the ball with my quarterback anymore. That was very rude.
I'm sorry. I had 2 receivers on that team, and I fucking dumped their asses.
Yeah, I think this is just a great draft. I picked JSN as my official pick because he finished as wide receiver 6.
Yeah,
it's really awesome. Like, I think because he started off really slow despite being a crazy hyped college prospect.
Yeah. And I think it was just a combination of there was a crowded receiver room. Lockett was still good. Obviously, DK's still there, and because they just didn't pass the ball that much this year, and DK's been a little hurt this year. And they completely changed the offense to basically just chuck, instead of running the ball a bunch, they just pass every play. And JSN has done an excellent job of being a possession receiver and taking that role, as the guy who's going to move the ball down the field, but not necessarily have a ton of huge plays. I mean, he still has big plays, but so he's been really, really a really, really good fit for the offensive scheme. And Geno obviously is still is turnover prone, but he is still he's a really good quarterback for what JSN needs him to be, and they just have a really good chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah, Geno has the second most pass attempts in the league.
Yeah.
Behind Joe Burrow.
I think he's third in passing yards because of that.
Yeah. He was leading the league in pass attempts for a while, but Joe Burrow does every fucking game, so he has to throw the ball 8,000 times.
Right, and kind of now the Seahawks defense is actually something, but the Seahawks will still pass the ball all the time. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, I think there's a pretty obvious worst pick, primarily because it's the only bad pick.
No, I disagree with that, sir. There are 2 bad picks on this team, and they are horrendous.
Okay.
Zamir White and
I think
Miles Sanders?
Zamir White and Miles Sanders. Holy shit, they're bad.
Wait, really? Those are the 2 you chose?
What do you mean? Those are the 2 I chose. What are you Who else would I have chosen?
She took a tight end top 30 who wasn't a starter quality.
Don't care. Not a starter quality. Zamir White and Miles Sanders are not even teamable. You can't even put them on a team.
But they were fucking late round draft picks.
No, they weren't. That's the thing. I think Miles Sanders was a 7th or 8th round pick.
Their 7th and 8th round. Sam Laporta, she took 27th overall.
Look, I almost put Sam Laporta. I think he's a bad pick, but because tight end was so butts, and because these 2 players were fucking god awful.
I don't blame her as much for picking Laporta.
Right, I think
a lot of us would have picked Laporta there.
I think he's bad, but because look again on some of these other teams that didn't have bad picks, Laporta would be the worst pick. But because I think Zamir White and Miles Sanders are the equivalent of drafting a pile of shit, then what's the point? You're just wasting a 7th and 8th round pick. Those are still value, good.
She drafted those 2 guys and immediately dropped them, probably.
Yeah, they've been garbage.
Wow, I'm just shocked. I really think I'm not even convinced by y'all's argument necessarily, but I
typed Sam Laporta and then I saw, oh my god, Zamir White. Oh my god, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders. I'm not sure he started a game or played or was useful for
he did. He had 40 points.
That's very surprising.
But yeah, I think it's also funny because she drafted Chubba Hubbard later.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not saying those are good picks, but yeah, I guess there's 3 pretty stand-up picks.
I'm a little impartial because I drafted Sam Laporta to Sophia's State Farm League team. And she's also in first place.
She's in first?
So Sam Laporta, if you have Sam Laporta, that means you're probably getting first place.
I didn't hate the Zamir White pick at the time. It just turned out none of the Raiders running backs were good at all.
See, I was questioning the Zamir White pick. I didn't like it as a flex, although of course I was stupid and panic picked Zamir White in ESPN. And he turned out terrible. So, I have some... he was... I know how bad he was. He was fucking bad.
I think I had him on my team for 1 week. I picked him up off waivers for 1 week, rode the bench, and dropped him.
Yeah. So, but literally, all of the issues that I I mean, I guess not all of them, but a lot. Pretty much all the issues that I had with Biz's team at the beginning of the year were solved by pretty much solved by JSN and Chuba Hubbard. So yeah, good for her.
Yeah, I think she's. I mean, I definitely think she's a contender.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Biz is a big contender, and she's already got a championship. So
You just call Biz big? That's so rude.
That's fucked
I
up.
literally said Biz.
What?
Well, you
All right. Just going to keep the show moving.
you've been making
Who do you
fun of
guys
my point
think-
all night, bro.
Who do you
Called
think had the
Biz
best power
big.
rankings?
That's fat phobic.
Who do you think had the best power rankings?
Biz knows I didn't call her that.
Of the four of us and the podcast, because the podcast gets a score as well, the cumulative ranking.
Banglewood.
Do what?
Banglewood had
Who
the
had
best.
the best power rankings?
Banglewood.
Me.
Okay. It was not you.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, it was not close to you.
Oh, fuck.
Uh,
Was it Wyatt?
So last place with a score of 54, which is, I mean, what, divided by 12, what is that, like
Oh,
4.5, average 4.5 spots off was Reeves.
Let's go.
Go, Reeves.
In second to last with a score of 44, so that's about 3.67, or 3.67 spots off was Alex.
Hey.
I scored 40, so about 3.33 off. The
Bro,
podcast
you
scored
got
39.
that. You got the largest discrepancy, and you scored second. We fucking suck, Banglewood.
Yeah, we suck.
Reeves, you had 2 9s, which
yeah.
yes, I did have an 11, but you had
Nice.
between who was it? Who else do you have?
It was probably
Oh, fuck.
Trisha and
Yeah, it was Trisha and Biz.
Biz.
You had
Yeah,
nines.
not great.
And Wyatt actually fucking annihilated us, 34. So you got an average of about 2.8 off.
Joy.
He popped off, so great job, Wyatt. The podcast scored exactly the same as last year, which was really fucking weird.
That was weird.
All right, now we're gonna move on.
We're consistent.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so now we're gonna move on to some superlatives. Obviously, we have the superlatives we do every year.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
have some user submitted
Superlatives.
some superlatives.
Laxatives.
Do you guys want to start with the basic ones, or do you want to start with the user submitted and then go into the
Basic.
basic?
Keep it basic, and then let's blow the fuck up.
So we'll do the 4 basic ones, and then we'll do the Discord ones, and we'll end on MVP. Sound good?
Okay, got it.
The biggest steal of the draft. Who do you guys think is the biggest steal?
Even though he's hurt, I voted J.K. Dobbins. Because Bango got like a very high quality player. Not
Yeah.
even like round 8 or 9, like round fucking 12.
Yeah.
Pick
the majority of the
135, the 49th running back taken.
Yeah.
He finished as running back 21, but obviously that's after the injuries. He was
Yep.
he was top 5 for a decent part of the season.
Yep.
I will agree with you, Reeves. That I had the best steal.
What about
Well-
Steele? What about Steele?
Steal?
Oh shit!
Did Steele have the best steal? Steele
No.
had some valuable steals. Yeah, and you like glazing Steele.
He did not have the best steal though.
Damn.
I mean- What his best steal is? He didn't even have a good steal.
I don't know. Chris Godwin.
Well, yeah, okay.
He's
that's
hurt,
like
but
that.
he's hurt, but okay.
Okay,
I consider those like round 6, 7, 8 guys still like solid ass like players.
That's fair. That's fair.
I had 3 options. One was J.K. Dobbins. One was JSN, who we just talked about. He was 99th overall pick, 43rd wide receiver taken, finished the year as wide receiver 6. The one I ended up going with was taken 2 picks after J.K. Dobbins, 137. Baker Mayfield ended the year as quarterback 4,
That's a good.
Damn.
a borderline elite quarterback, almost at the end of the draft.
That's pretty
And
big.
there were a
Yeah.
lot of busts at quarterback this year between
there were a lot
Richardson,
of busts.
Stroud, Prescott, arguably Jordan Love. Depends on, I mean, there's injuries and stuff there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of shit quarterbacks this year.
Yeah,
So to get
Tua.
Baker Mayfield that late, especially because it was a 100% vibes-based pick.
Would you
Uh,
rather steal a good quarterback or steal a good running back though in the late rounds?
running
Baker
back.
Mayfield didn't get hurt. I
Running
think
back,
that's-
100%.
Running
that-
back.
Baker
Right.
Mayfield is playing the game. I think that does matter. The fact
That's
that Baker
fair.
Mayfield is
That's
playing
fair.
the game.
No, I think it's a good pick. But
I think.
I do think-
I
I think-
obviously, running back is the more valuable position. But
yeah.
because he got hurt, then it's like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Okay, yeah, but our podcast vote is J.K. Dobbins.
Yep.
So great job, JK.
Congrats, JK. Congrats on your year. You almost made it through a season healthy.
Hmm.
The biggest bust, I think there's two, because again, I try not to do injuries. So for me, there's two huge contenders, and then a third who's hanging up there. Who do you guys have for the biggest bust of the season?
Travis Etienne, baby. Let's go. Let's
Ouch.
go.
Yeah. He's definitely, I think he's one of the easy two. I will posit the other one being Deebo Samuel, who's just
Probably.
ass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think
Deebo's
Etienne
dead.
finished as running back 38, I believe. He missed one game. Drafted the 11th running back taken. Deebo was the 10th wide receiver taken, missed 2 games, and finished as wide receiver 50.
Oh my.
So I'm gonna go Deebo,
Fine.
partially because I don't want my own pick to be the worst one. And I also posit Patrick
Imagine a bust
Mahomes.
if they got hurt. Like, that's the tough thing.
You can
Yeah.
include it, but neither of those players got hurt. So who would you include?
McCaffrey.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'll go Etienne to break the tie because he was on my list.
Okay.
I think Mahomes should also be considered just because he was taken so highly because still
Yeah.
loves that stack.
Yeah.
All right, best pickup.
This is an
Obviously,
easy
there's
one.
some interpretation in the wording. I assumed it was best free agent pickup.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
What do you guys have?
This is
I
an easy
got it.
Jonnu Smith.
Okay. Johnny Smith, Reeves, why Johnny Smith?
Because there were a number of players that were good off waivers.
Oh.
Jonnu Smith was just randomly to the fucking moon. Not even like, oh, you can plug and play this guy. Literally just randomly, oh yeah, he's like a top 2 tight end now. Just halfway through the season, off of a waiver. Like, waiver, pick up, start, 25 points, 23, like just what? Okay. And there were, it was a weird waiver year where it wasn't like all the good waivers were front loaded. It was kind of a couple of guys that were sprinkled in throughout the year, and Jonnu to me was
Johnny had like 3 games in a row where he just went crazy.
right, and he's still doing it, right? Like, I mean, granted, he went to overtime last game, but he gets a touchdown,
Yeah.
he wins the
He
game, he's
didn't
got
have a
11
single
points.
catch, and then he got 3 in a row in overtime.
Right, seriously.
TD.
I mean, and
Yeah,
so now,
I was
yeah,
pissed. I was like, what the fuck?
he
Jeez.
He went from basically being a useless player up until about halfway through the year, and then he looks like he's gonna be okay, and then all of a sudden he fucking goes to the moon. And so, yeah, I that's my pick. I think it's Jonnu. There's definitely some other good pickups, but I think Jonnu is exceptional.
It's Sam Darnold.
I agree. It's Sam Darnold.
And Banky traded him.
And yeah, I think it's Sam Darnold. I think Johnny Smith's another one, but just because it was so late in the season, Sam Darnold has been good all year.
And when did I
that's
pick
fair.
him up? Like week 2?
It was pretty early.
Yeah, you had to because of Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Whenever
yeah,
he
I mean,
played the Bills, yeah.
Sam Darnold undrafted, ended his quarterback 6.
Pretty good.
God, there were so many. I mean,
Shout out to Steele.
imagine if like Garrett's team didn't draft Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, and he drafted Sam Darnold instead. Like it could have
Yeah.
been,
Or he picked
massively
up Sam
different.
Darnold.
Yeah, or picked him up. Yeah, I mean, I just think he's the guy that could have flipped the fates of a lot of teams. Or
Yeah,
Justin,
could have definitely flipped a lot of bad teams. Absolutely.
yeah, Jonnu. I mean, Jonnu, I think helps you push to the playoffs, right? And he's probably the best for the postseason. I think it's probably Jonnu.
I kind of agree with that, but also, Jonnu flipped Becca's fate a lot too, because obviously, like we talked about, she's had a lot of bad injury luck, and in the past couple weeks, like I think Biz's thing, she was either top 2 or 1 scoring teams in the past back half of the season, and she's got some guys back off of injury, but she's still also, that's how ending injuries work. You fucking get your guys are out for the season. So that's the last half of the season. She's been top 2, and Jonnu's been part of that reason because he's been so ahead. Like Darnold has been really good, and he's been in the mix for a top group. Like Jonnu has been head and shoulders above almost all of the other tight ends.
Yeah, you just gotta hope that he keeps it up. Like Sam Darnold's done it over a bigger sample size too.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jonnu. I just, like I said last week, it was until overtime and he got 3 random catches, or else he would have had 0 points.
Yep, that's
And
fair.
it's like,
That's really the question, right?
you gotta hope they feed him the ball. So
it's high level for a whole season or elite level for half a season. This is like really the question. I think either is a fair answer.
Yeah, it is.
I
definitely hope they keep throwing Jonnu the ball. So
yeah, he's really he can be really good. This was interesting, and that's best manager. There's not really criteria. So a lot of times it ends up being the person who sometimes who had the best draft, sometimes who just like finished with the top seed. It could be based on like who beat all the other teams tied with them. So like you never know. Spencer could have people's votes. How did you guys approach best manager, and then who did you vote for?
I gotta give it to Becca because I know what she dealt with injuries this season. I kind of dealt with it last year. So it's just like, it's kind of like a sinking feeling at the beginning of the year, like I'm just doomed, but you find a way out of it, and she's in the playoffs now. So props to Becca, and I think it could have gone way south, and it didn't. So
I
give it to Becca.
I also went Becca for pretty much those exact reasons. I went away from the best draft, even though I think her draft was actually pretty good if you don't look at injuries. But she did, I mean, once again, she was hard cursed. Like she'd not get away from the curse, but she managed it so well that she dealt with the curse and still got into the playoffs and still has been scoring really well recently with pickups and trades and I mean, yeah, still good draft picks, but really, really good overall manager work.
Yeah,
From dealing with things that you can't control, which are injuries.
I did not go Becca.
Imagine.
I had 3 at the top. Becca was one of them. I think she made some she made some questions that like at the time you could say sure, but like again, dropping Jerry Jeudy for nothing was a pretty huge miss.
But like also, if you don't know when to start him, if he pops off 3 weeks, but he's not consistent, when are you gonna start? Like when is he gonna be useful?
Week 12 through 14 of her team. Even if you say like the 1 week wasn't there, like as soon as Jameis gets put in, his value skyrockets.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily know that, so I don't know.
I
think the one mistake for me does not outweigh all of the other positive things she did, especially with what she was dealing with.
And again, I think I've said part of her draft was drafting Christian McCaffrey, who was already hurt, and Jonathan Brooks, who's already hurt, and so dealing with injuries is like she kind of put herself in that position in a lot of ways. I also had Steele up there because I just thought Steele's draft was really good, and his one miss he got out of for free and got Sam Darnold. But I ended up going with Wyatt because he's the first 0-4 team to make the playoffs. I think that, especially if you look at like real life, the Coach of the Year award a lot of times is like the run that no one expects, which I think Becca also had. But no one's ever started 0-4.
No one's ever been cursed and made the playoffs either.
Yeah, I don't know. The curse isn't real, right? The curse
apparently it is. Apparently
it's not
it
real.
Is.
The curse is not real.
It is.
It's like there's no such thing as curses.
Wow.
I'm talking about like hard data. I don't know.
Oh,
there's no such thing as curses.
If I get second place again this year, will you believe in curses?
No, I'll say skill issue. Okay. I don't know. He finished on an 8-2 run. That's fucking crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I went with Wyatt because I think overcoming the really tough start. However, I totally understand the Becca pick. And she wins it because majority. So,
shout out Becca.
Before we do MVP, we're going to do our Discord superlatives.
Oh boy.
I'm going to let you guys know 2 of these have pretty intentionally obvious answers.
Oh my.
As in the person who sent the question either sent me the answer that it's supposed to be or was clearly implying themselves. We'll start with one that's clearly implying themselves, the Plagued by Injuries Award. Who do you guys think is the... We don't need to talk about it, right?
It's me. It's me.
Yeah, it's you. Runner-up to, I don't know, Justin, because he had 2 of his top 3 picks, miss a shit ton of time.
Yeah. A lot of injuries.
Most likely to create a TikTok edit for rivalry week and then lose.
Did Becca submit 2?
Becca did not submit 2. However, this question is definitely targeted at Becca. That is from
Damn.
Spencer.
What the fuck, Spencer? That's
Okay, that's what I
fucking-
thought.
That's
yeah.
That was
toxic
fucking
as hell.
savage.
That's
by the
toxic
way.
as hell. What the fuck?
That's not that savage.
God damn.
All right, we'll go to the 2 serious ones. Your
At
biggest
least you
fantasy,
submitted something, Spencer. Damn.
your biggest fantasy season disappointment. That's gonna be taken however the fuck you want it. What was the most disappointing thing to you throughout the year?
Commish missing playoffs. No, I'm not just
Yeah.
kidding.
was gonna say,
pretty
that
bad.
doesn't-
That was pretty bad. B-Way talking the talk and being shit. A team with Saquon and Justin Jefferson missing the playoffs and Baker Mayfield.
That was
name
mine.
change?
Is running back 1, wide receiver 2, quarterback 4 missing the playoffs?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Silly.
Mine is the name change not getting abolished, but going to somebody that is not even active.
That
So
is a
it's like,
pretty.
it
That is a
basically
massive
did get
disappointment.
abolished.
That is a huge fucking bummer.
It
Yeah.
was basically abolished.
Well, again, remember the 2 people threatened to drop out if we did any fun punishments. So,
Oh, thank you, 2 people.
all right.
I'll make my own. I'll make my own superlative. Who are the 2 people that threatened to drop out if we had a real punishment?
Spencer and Steele.
That way I know. It wasn't really a superlative. We're supposed to flame them.
Oh, yeah, it's pussy shit.
Pretty dumb.
Sorry, Steele.
Yeah, no glazing here, buddy. All right, and finally, this is going to be tough to do, and I don't have any description. So
Oh,
you can
boy.
technically interpret this however you want.
Oh boy.
From Out of Sync Samurai, also known as Steel, also known as, what is his fantasy team name? Is it just Out of Sync Samurai?
The Helmet Bros.
No,
The Helmet Bros.
I don't know.
Most troll play.
Well,
Most troll play.
Steele wants us to say the double
Like
tight
in
end. That didn't happen this year. I don't know.
Like playing a fantasy player or like a play in an NFL game?
Most troll play.
I think he means fantasy play.
I assume he means a sit-start decision.
Right, yeah.
Is it Vidal for B-Way?
Oh, that was pretty
Is
troll.
it?
Okay, yeah, that's a
Drafting
pretty
Vidal was
good one.
fucking troll. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I think you could argue also from B-Way that trading away Tyreek for Kincaid and then dropping Kincaid like 3 weeks later was pretty troll.
Yeah, okay, actually, I'm going to say B-Way's first accepted trade. Of Tyreek Hill and Jake Ferguson for Dalton Kincaid.
Oh my god.
That is the most troll play of the year. That was fucking stupid. I was so hoping to not have to veto anything this year. I was like, I'll just let everyone cook.
It's not my
And
fault.
like the second accepted
Not my
trade
fault.
is that fucking garbage.
It's not my fault. It's what he wanted.
The first trade was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes for Sam Darnold. That's kind of fun. And then the second one was this goddamn abomination from B-Way. Yeah, you're right. That definitely wins most troll play. I don't think that's what Steele meant at all. Steele wanted us to like probably pick someone from his bench that he should have started because they scored higher and not
He
because
definitely
they
wanted
should
us to
have
say
started.
that he's been drafting like 2 kickers or 2 defenses or something, but no, somehow those are better than anything B-Way's done.
Well, he did draft 2 defenses. Only 1 kicker though.
Yeah, right. That's fair. He went 1 kicker,
Progress.
2 defenses this year. Forgot about that.
Steele had a good year.
Yeah, I want to glaze him some more. You got one last chance, buddy.
He wasn't even top half. I don't know. Did he have a good year?
I mean, top half in head to head.
He's the 7th seed. All
I
right.
this is where it's done.
Finally, the MVP.
Mv.
Obviously, this is the player, not a manager, because we
Yes.
had that. So I'll start with Banglewood. Who is your 2024 fantasy MVP?
Shit. Vikings defense?
Bruh, what?
Oh no, I got put on the spot.
I'll
All
go
right, we'll
first.
skip you.
You
We'll
think
skip
about.
you.
I'll
Say,
go
hey, come
first.
back
You
to
think
me.
about it.
Reeves, who is your fantasy?
I'll do the steel glazing for Banglewood. I think it's Jamar Chase, and let me give my reasoning.
Look at my computer screen right now.
Let me give my reasoning. The top team is Biz, and although she has a very good team, I don't know if there's one single player. Like if we're talking about the best player on the best team, then it's I guess Bijan Robinson. But like I don't really get MVP energy from B. Like he's been really good, but I don't necessarily get best energy or that energy. And then of course, obviously, the best player, the actual MVP, if it's just like most valuable player, not best player, but best team, has been Saquon Barkley. Right?
Yeah.
Over Lamar, over everyone, over Jamar Chase. It's been Saquon Barkley, and guess what? Didn't matter. Doesn't matter. Trish is not in the playoffs. And so, because I think I'm not going to say best player on best team. I'm going to say there are a handful of teams that I think are in a clump of teams that could win the championship. I think Steele is one of those teams that has a chance to win the championship. And if he does it, it's going to be Jamar Chase. And the reason that he got to the point that he's in right now is because of Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been hands down the best wide receiver. He's been so good in a shit wide receiver year that he is flex play 2. Like if we're looking at both wide receiver, tight ends, and running backs, he is just behind, like just barely behind Saquon Barkley. And he's been very, very good.
I think the big thing, I mean, yeah, there's the narrative case, obviously, that like he probably got Steele into playoffs, realistically. There's also a pretty crazy statistical case, right? I think the other two contenders would be Saquon and Lamar.
Yeah.
Saquon didn't make the playoffs, so that's a hard sell. Lamar, the quarterback position, I mean, there's a few elite ones. Yeah. He was 30 points above Joe Burrow at second, but like it's all kind of close.
Yeah.
The wide receiver 2 in this class is Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase is 73 points higher.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
He's 135% of wide receiver 2's points.
Absolutely disgusting.
It's and like wide receiver's been like oddly weak a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Like, usually there's like 5 to 6 200-point wide receivers. There's only one this year. But like the fact that in a week, it's like the old Travis Kelce argument, right? Where like even if Travis Kelce wasn't the best player on the field in total points,
yeah,
he was just so far above
the
competition.
Yeah,
I think it's Jamar Chase hands down.
Yep. Yeah. Even like running back, if you look at Saquon Barkley was obviously like the best player, and if you look at like the second best, who is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's like a little far from him, but yeah, nowhere close to wide receiver 2. It's been absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a disparity that big outside of Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Someone
just being that much better than the rest of his position. And it's not even like random guys below him, right? It's like the elite players. Justin Jefferson, Amon Ross, CeeDee Lamb, like top wide receivers just never came anywhere close to him.
Yeah, and granted, like it's been a combination of some of those top wide receivers have not been performing as well, and a lot of the points have shifted to running backs. And well, it's a lot of the points have shifted to running backs, but also there's been more points in general, right? And so it's more points in general, and they're more going to running backs, except for Jamar Chase, whose that offense is just always behind. And so they're always trying to catch up. And so they have a ton of points because it's a great offense too. A ton of points in general. And Jamar Chase is just it's the absolute best fantasy situation for Jamar Chase. It's really great.
It's at 4 games below 10. That was the one hang up I had. He surprisingly has not been that consistent.
Right.
But yeah,
that's what happens with wide receiver. Sometimes you get a couple games where you get 4 catches for 40 yards, and you get below 10, and it's whatever. But this is like it's you're not expecting a running back out of a wide receiver. You're expecting something like this, unless it's I don't know, like a high end target hog. Like Puka's been doing really well, where he just gets a fuck ton of targets, and maybe like a JSN, not necessarily the possession guys, right? Like that's maybe more like a running back, but overall, the wide receiver case is not really that at all, and he's been the epitome of a wide receiver in my mind.
Alex, I mean, you showed us on the computer screen. You had Jamar pulled up. Is that your guy? You think?
Yeah, or Saquon. I mean, I just go with best player, so him or Saquon.
Yeah, the Saquon case. If you're treating it like the real NFL, there's no way Saquon would make it because he's not in the
Right.
playoffs.
Yeah.
But I think.
I think the real NFL is dumb because the real NFL would be like, oh, Biz is the top seed. She's looked like a good team. We're gonna give it to Bijan Robinson. I'm like, fuck you guys, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, realistically, the NFL would give it to Lamar because he's the best quarterback on the top team.
I think they
Or
would give
Allen.
it. I think they would give it to, Josh Allen.
He didn't have
Even though he's like third in fantasy quarterbacks.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking of like actual NFL.
Oh no,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the
Talking about-
odds-on favorite to win the real NFL.
Yeah,
MVP.
even though I think Lamar has, I mean, overall Lamar's been statistically better, but the Bills have just been a better team, especially in the last month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Lamar's stats are actually like they're so much better than last year. He won MVP last year, and Lamar's stats have actually been fucking insane.
Yeah, the passing stats are just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Outside of that like Steelers game, he's just been fucking beast.
Yeah.
All right, that was a long ass episode, but I had a blast.
Right, great time.
So sorry, Chris, Trisha, and Justin for that.
You know what? I'll be here cheering from the sidelines. I doubt the other three will.
15 hours. I'm going crazy.
I do think it's very funny that the commissioner missing the playoff storyline is the one that went through. I think it's funny that the commissioner missing the playoff storyline is the one that went through.
Went through where?
Out of all of the playoff potential storylines,
Oh,
because they were like,
I was really upset because like obviously that game was fucking bullshit with Josh Allen literally breaking the record. And then I found out if I won,
but it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
That's so funny.
So it kind of helped because I was like, you know what, it's cooked. It's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, I think it was a really fun season overall. I'm super
It was fun.
competitive. 2 years in a row, we've just had these fucking clusterfucks in the middle. but-
Crazy
Yeah.
standings. Anyone can win it this year. It's going to be fun.
Seriously,
and before we go,
8 teams that can win.
choose your top two. You don't have to choose a champion. Who's in the finals? So obviously they cannot play each other in the first round. But who's in the finals? Two teams.
Well, doesn't that also mean they could still play each other in the second round, though, which I'm kind of worried about, and I don't know.
Yeah, but we do reseed, so like you never. I mean,
No, I
yeah.
know, but like it could be like I could say Steel is a good team, and if Biz wins and Steel wins, assuming
And Steel
Brett.
plays Biz.
Oh because Biz plays because then Steel plays Biz, and then
So yeah, I guess it would be hard. Yeah, so I guess you couldn't say Steel and Biz.
I'm going Spencer Steele.
Spencer. What the shit?
Spencer and Steel.
Spencer. Interesting.
I said what I said, bro.
Oh fuck, this is tough.
Yeah, it is.
This is really tough, especially now that we know that because I think Biz and Steel are going to probably win their matchups. That they're
Steele's
going
gonna
to
beat me.
play each
Steele's
other.
going to beat me.
Steel's gonna beat your ass.
You looked at the game tonight at all?
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
It's bad, dude.
Don't tell me, please. I don't want to. Don't shut up. I don't want to know anything.
It is not good.
For you?
Yeah, for me, it's terrible.
Oh shit. Well, I was gonna go Steel. I don't tell me about anything else. But I was gonna go Steel in that matchup. So I don't know. I think probably. Oh, it's really tough because a lot of these teams that I think are good are playing each other. Like the best teams are playing each other. I think realistically, it's probably like Biz, Steel, myself,
Pick two,
maybe
pick two.
like
Pick
why?
two.
I know. Shut up. I'm explaining my thought process. Shut up. Let me explain.
Oh my god.
I think it's like
I've been here for 15 hours.
Oh my god. All right, fine. I'll speed it up. Okay. Like, it can't be Biz and Steel. I think Wyatt and Spencer are outside looking in. I don't want to put myself as a top 2 team because then that's being fucking stupid. So I'll say I don't know if Spencer's a top 2 team either though. Fuck, I don't know. It would be probably like Biz and Steel if I could say that, but I can't. So I'll say Biz and me, but that means I might lose this week, and I hate this.
I think it's Biz and the
Two,
winner.
bro. Just
I think it's Biz versus the winner
of my
of
matchup.
Reeves and Wyatt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
To
agree
be
with that.
different, I'm gonna say Biz and Wyatt.
Okay, then I agree with what you're saying. Then yeah.
I think Steele is the likely one to upset that if he beats Biz in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Spencer Steele, I'm watching out for y'all. Go win a championship.
All right, gentlemen and ladies, if or whoever the fuck watches, I don't know. That has been our season finale of the SimStation Internet Football Podcast.
Why did you guys remind me that I have a game going on right now? Oh, I don't want to look at fantasy.
Who knows? Maybe we'll drop a surprise recording when I'm in Jacksonville.
You're doing better than me.
You never know.
Don't shut up, Banglewood. Don't talk about. I don't want to hear about it.
All right. Let's get out of here. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
And see you next season. Fuck it. I don't know. Bye.